Well, hey, neighbor. It's me, Angie. Come on. Come on in. It's time for our neighborhood chat. Don't forget, stop by in the kitchen and get your drink and snack. I have plenty. Just help yourself. Whatever you want. I have it. If I don't, we can run to town and get it. I'm about 3 blocks from the nearest little store here in our town. So don't worry about it. We can get something. So glad you decided to come over today, the day after Christmas. I feel so honored. Thank you. Well, today my daughter came over and helped me organize my YouTube room. I'm going to show it to you one day, but not today because today is our neighborhood chat. And you want to know what it's about? Today's chat is about it's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. And you say, that's not true. I don't believe that. Well, when I was younger, I hadn't lived as much life as I've lived. And I have lived long enough now to know that the longer you live, the more lessons you learn and the more wisdom you have. I used to not believe that either. Well, when I was younger and I would hear that, and it used to be this famous quote when I was coming up as a teenager and in my 20s, oh, it's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. And I'm thinking, no, I don't want to love somebody and lose them. Because at that time, I had never really had a great loss. I didn't have a great loss in my life until, I guess I was around 23, and my brother died. And I had not experienced death before. Up until that time, I had not experienced it. I had not been in a relationship where I had ever lost someone that I was dating and we broke up and it was devastating. I had never, experienced anything like that. But what I want to tell you, don't not love somebody because you've been hurt. Because sometimes and often we put all of our energy, and it's okay, into a relationship, and we love so deep and so hard, and it doesn't work out. Either that person leaves us or we leave them. I used to work for an attorney, and he did divorces. And it wasn't that the two people didn't really love each other anymore. They just grew apart and couldn't live together anymore. Neither one of them was willing to compromise, and work it out. They just decided, no, we can't live together. But they loved each other. Now, they may not have been in love with each other, but they loved each other. They didn't want to come to that, having a misunderstanding to get to an understanding. They didn't want to do that. They just wanted to give up on the relationship. I don't judge anybody for that, because sometimes there are people that are married or in a relationship that grow apart and just can't live with each other anymore. I've seen it. I know that happens. Anyway, remember, the subject is, it's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. Now, when we put our whole being into a relationship, such as marriage, and our partner may pass away suddenly or not suddenly, we are just so devastated because we can't control that. We can't, and that love doesn't stop. You're still loving that person, and they're gone, and you can't do anything about it. I'm here to tell you, take your moment, grieve, go through grief. Never let anybody tell you that there should be a time limit on how a person is supposed to grieve. Everybody's different. Now, you can have a child that something has happened to your child and you're grieving. Go with it. Go with what you feel like you need to grieve. I can't even imagine that. But there have been people that have lost children, and they have loved that child. And me being a mom, I can't even imagine. And my heart breaks for anybody that's ever went through that. But once that happens, because that person is completely away and you can never get them back, it's a devastating feeling. So Take your time. Grieve. Go through the whatever you need to. But here's the thing. Don't stay in it. And you can also grieve for somebody that's still alive when you are in a relationship and it doesn't work out. And sometimes the person that's still alive and you know that you could get in touch with, or you still have to look at or see or deal with, and you're so emotionally attached to them and you so love them, it can be hard. Don't stay there. Don't stay there. Move on. Take your time, but let's just keep stepping, because it's a journey. We're on a journey. We don't want to get stalled where we are because we're missing out. Because you don't have just one opportunity to love somebody. We have many opportunities through our life. Now, they are few and far between, but we do get more than one opportunity to really, really love somebody. Now, when I say that I love you as my YouTube neighbors, I truly do. I truly love you. But we have different types of love. You know, we have the love between a parent and a child. We have the love between our God and us. We have the love between a spouse and a mate, you know, your spouse and you. You have the love between you and a friend. There's just so many types of love. But sometimes when we fall in love with our mate or with somebody, it's like this, it's just deeper than a casual love. Like, oh, this person is my friend and I love her. She's like a sister to me. Well, that's totally different than you and your spouse. It's totally different than you and your child. But sometimes when we've lost someone, we shut down. We say, oh no, I'm never going to love again. I don't want to hurt that bad. I don't want to hurt as bad as I hurt when I had to give up the person that I truly, truly loved. You know, sometimes that person walks away. Sometimes we feel like we have to walk away for whatever reason. Now, I'm not talking about the relationships where someone mentally, physically, emotionally abuses you. Oh no, I'm not talking about those relationships. Now, you can love that person and that person not love you, but yes, of course, you need to get out of those relationships. But I'm telling you, go through your grief, get mad. Literally get mad about it. You know, be sad. Whatever it takes, go through every bit of it. And don't be afraid. And don't be thinking that the person that you love that's passed on would say, you would be cheating them if you love somebody else. Because that person, I'm sure, would want you to go on and love. Because my religion is all about love. You know, God is love, and that's everything. Our whole belief is surrounded by nothing but the belief of loving each other. That's what my Christian belief is. That everything is based on love. Now, you have all different types of love, but the agape love is what my God loves me, is with that. And then you have the love between you and your spouse, you and your kids, you and your friend. You know, they're all different types. But that doesn't mean if something happens to you that I'm not going to grieve and I'm not going to be sad. I am. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to have other friends. Just like when you love so deeply that it hurts. I mean, when someone passes away, we're never going to see that person again until we ourselves pass on. I believe that I'll see my loved ones again. Now, your belief may not be that, but that's my belief. But until that day, I'm going to have to live without them. And that's hard. That's so hard. When it's so unexpected, you know, that someone leaves you. But even if they're still walking around and you've loved that person, don't ever, ever, ever feel bad about loving somebody. It's fine. It feels good. You can look back on the memories that you had together, the good ones, and you can say, boy, had I never met that person, I would not have loved this hard. I would not have learned this. I would have not experienced this. You know, you can look back at all the good things that you did, the lessons that you learned. Keep the memory alive. Don't not keep the memory alive. You know, sometimes you go through a relationship, and I've experienced this, that I didn't even want to think about it because it hurt so bad. So I wouldn't even think about the good memories. And then I started thinking, wow, we did a lot together. I mean, we did this and that. And even though our relationship had to come to an end, or whatever we had together had to stop, I still love that person, and I still love that person to this day. And it's okay. But sometimes when we get angry with somebody, we just say, oh, we don't care about them, and you don't want to think about them. You want to act like they don't even exist anymore. And a lot of times when someone passes away, we can't immediately talk about it. And that's okay. Take your time. Grieve at your own discrepancy. There's no timeline on grief, except for the fact we want to be walking through it. We don't want to be sitting still. You know, we can sit by the campfire and just be angry and be mad, sit in the dark, be mad at God, be mad at everybody, not understand what happened or why it happened. It's okay, because God's not mad at you. He still loves you. He doesn't care if you holler at him and scream at him and be mad. He's okay with that. But I'm here to tell you, go on and take a chance. What if someone is meant to be in your life that you're supposed to love, and you don't allow yourself to love them because you've been hurt so bad? Then you've missed out, or allowed that person to miss out on being loved. You may be the very reason that you're in that person's life, is to love that person. Maybe they've never experienced it before. And you know, in love, and if you've ever experienced real love, you know how wonderful it can be. So just step out there and love again. Take that chance, whether you've been in a bad relationship, whether you've had a loved one to pass on, whether you've had been scared because you've seen other people get hurt, or whatever the reason. You don't trust people. You can't love somebody because you don't trust people. Just step out and take a chance and really just allow yourself to love and care about people. It's okay, because that's what makes the world go around. I know money also helps out on making the world go around, because we have to have that to live. But really, loving people will bring you more happiness than you can ever imagine. Now, I'm sitting here before you, and yes, I have been hurt in the past about relationships that I had no control over. But I decided years back that I was going to continue to love people, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I had my moment. You know, I was sad, angry, mad, didn't like the outcome, but I walked through it and I got past it. Have I forgotten it? No, I hadn't forgotten it. I hadn't forgotten the pain of what it felt like losing that person and the sadness that I felt. But the happy times that we had together far outweigh the time that we were no longer together. It keeps the memory of that person alive. It keeps the memory of them knowing that, hey, I loved that person and they loved me, and it was okay. So it is better to have loved and lost than never loved at all, because of course everybody wants to experience love. I know I do, and there's nothing wrong with it. And when you cry from losing somebody, it's okay. because that shows just how much you gave them and how much you care and how much you loved them. And you have to tell people that you love them, because you sure don't want them to leave you or something happen to them and you not tell them that you love them. Of course you want to tell them. Don't be afraid to tell them. I tell my children, they come here, if I talk to them on the phone, if they leave my house, I love you. I'll see you next time or tomorrow, or I'll talk to you tomorrow. I tell James, I love you. Be careful when he's out there hunting. You never know when you're not going to see the person again. Life is too short. I've told you that over and over again. It's too short. And the older you get, the more you realize that. And you say, well, it's a little hard for me to say I love you. Practice it. And the more you say it, the easier it gets. And sometimes, when you first start saying it, you think, oh, I'm being phony. I don't even feel like that. Why am I saying it? I don't feel like I should say it. You will. You'll get there. Eventually, you'll start saying it, and you'll start feeling it. I love you. I love you. And remember, neighbor, it's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. Like, share, subscribe, ring that bell. Don't forget to color it in so you'll get the notification. Comment. Please comment. Share me out. I did reach 800 subscribers. I'm so excited. Headed on to 9. I'm going to get there, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that we all love each other. Now, I know sometimes we don't like each other. I mean, we all have different personalities. And I'm a firm believer that everybody can't like everybody, but we can love and respect each other. And it's okay. And with that being said, neighbor, bye.